Hello, Core 3 Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week one going into week two recap briefing video. I want to make sure everyone is aware of what's going on in our next upcoming week, as we've got some important deadlines as we start to work on our physical forms project. And I actually have more details on that project that I didn't really go over in class, sorry. So it's important you watch this and understand the project fully. Okay, so just what you should be working on. What are the things that are important right now? You may have already probably done this already, but make sure you've watched video one on books so we can discuss that on Tuesday. We didn't get a chance to do it on Thursday. But the main thing is that you're going to be creating your first physical forms project part one. And that's going to be a presentation of your concept direction. And we're going to review those on Tuesday as a full class together. And that needs to be ready to go by then. So that's what you're going to be focusing on over the next few days into next week. So remember the core three um, Design Studio 2025. This is when it was recorded, but watch this and we'll talk about it on Tuesday. And I'll put the link again in this email. And just a quick reminder that we are focusing on beauty and truth and goodness and trying to do our work uh, in a way that we look through the world and we look into our projects in a way that makes a connection to reality and our experience, our collaboration with reality, and how we can see things and interpret things and express things in a way that reflects beauty. And you guys have been doing really great in terms of taking on that theme without overpowering, letting it overpower you, and just bringing that into your thinking. All right, so physical forms part one is the name of our official start to the first project after doing those two exercises that gave us a platform for content and for a concept, and everyone did such a great job. I really appreciate the work you all did in a short amount of time to be prepared. Everyone was prepared and well prepared. Everyone had th three great concepts and many times it was hard to decide which one to do, and you all rose to the challenge and then zeroed in on an idea and created your 12550 um, content deck from Thursday, and that was all great. And now you're ready to dive in. Just to look at the scope of this project as we start to work on week two, which we're going to meet on Tuesday in all concept review. And Thursday, I've also got it written as that for the overflow and for briefing on the next part. So two all class days on next week. And then on the next week after that, 9/16/19, we'll do the half class idea with the Tuesday people meeting um, on the 16th and the Thursday meeting people on the 18th. And we're going to continue to use this model for other assignments, for other upcoming class meetings. So it'll be something that we plug into every now and then where half the class comes and the other half is still in class, but that means you're either attending the class. Everyone's welcome to come to all classes at all times. You just don't have to present and you can be in class, or you're at a space of your choice, working on your assignment, but you have to be working on your assignment. I need to trust that you're doing that. And you also need to send me an email reporting on how productive you were, or what your plans are for working, so that I can count you as participating in class. So make sure you do that. And after we have those two half-day classes, we're going to have the last week. And as we discussed in class, I haven't changed it here, but we discussed doing the switcheroo on Tuesday and Thursday so that our final critique is actually on the 25th, not the 23rd. And our briefing for the digital project is on Tuesday instead of Thursday. That gives us a whole nother couple of days. And it also frees up the print lab for, not that you should be waiting the last minute necessarily to be printing it, but it just gives us a little extra time where everyone else is going to be rushing to get it done on that Monday before Tuesday. We're going to have the Wednesday being the night before. Okay, so our physical forms project is going to be part one. It's going to be concept development on Tuesday, on the 9th and the 11th. And based on the work you created in your, and actually let's back up. So let's just say the people who are on the 9th are the Tuesday people, and the people who are on the 11th are the Thursday people, but you're all still coming to class. Okay, that's how it's going to work. Half the class will present, and the other half will be on Thursday. So we're using the Tuesday Thursday model, but we're not. I'm requiring everyone to come to this first one, um, and then from there on we'll do it the other way. Um, and I put my phone on airplane mode, and I'm being texted by hundreds of people at once. Sorry. Okay, so based on the work you've created in the form and content exercise, create a concept direction for your publication project. You can choose your format from the following publication options and beyond, but basically a book, magazine, a poster series, or a zine are the core options. For me, book, magazine are kind of the main preferences. And this is the part I didn't go over within class. So I'm going to just read this together with you. So the overview says you will create a printed physical publication that represents your collection with a distinctive point of view. The publication could take many forms. It could be a prototype of a magazine that addresses the issues posed by your collection. It could be a catalog for your imagery exhibition event or a conference, like imagining that you're doing an exhibit, making a catalog for it, or a conference. It could also be an experimental format that becomes a type of on-demand pop-up exhibit. Um, your public content, your publication will be based on a curation of your seed collection to create a narrative. So we're going to build on the seed collection. We're going to build on the concept you developed with that. And you're going to create a, a story, a publication out of that. And you may add, edit the content as your project develops. So as we talked about in class, you may literally be taking those images that you collected, the 50 of them that you put together, and literally be using all 50 for your content. That I don't know if that's necessarily I don't think that's necessarily the typical way it would go. I think that that could be a big part of your content, but I think as you develop the concept now, you may find that you're going to want to build on that. You may find that your concept evolves from what you were actually recording in your seed to becoming something more refined or something different, and you'll need to make more content. So please be open to that. Don't just think, okay, I took a bunch of pictures of something I found and I'm going to just make a catalog out of it. I mean, that literally is what you can do, but don't be limited to that. Okay, so the deliverables are going to be the physical printed publication, something like this that you're going to have. That's going to be printed and bound and trimmed, and I'm going to show you this in more in detail in a few seconds here. And then also a design presentation, the digital presentation, the deck, as we call it, of your presentation of that, basically what we've been developing in class. There's the digital form of it, the digital presentation of it, and the physical actual piece that you're going to make and print and make sure it looks beautiful. Okay, so parameters, your publication, these are the things I really should have talked about in class. So your publication must include a concept, structure, navigation, typography, layout, and grid. So it's got to be that kind of content. It's whether it takes the form of a book or a magazine or a poster, it's still going to have concept, structure, navigation, typography, layout, and grid, and a cohesive visual system. The relationship between the publication and its narrative should be clear, and the audience should be defined. And this might be something that you present in your presentation deck. Your concept must be about design. Not sure why they needed to say that, but it must be about design. It should include at least 3 different stories. So I'm kind of putting up the sign here to wash hands, so let's keep going, but you got to have at least 3 different stories, visual or written, that connect to your concept. You can pair text and visuals from different sources into one story. Include a cover, a table of contents, a masthead, a colophon, and at least 2 large features and 3 smaller stories. The form of these elements can be reinterpreted. Again, we might be putting the sign up to wash hands. So that's what we're saying in our sign. You got to have these things, but also what I really want is for you to have a substantial piece that takes content and expresses it in a visually compelling way and does have structure to it and does have a certain amount of work to it. You can't just do like the alphabet and have 26 letters in your it's got to be more than that. Okay, and then contains at least 2 signatures, 32 pages. Now, a signature, what is that? A signature is a piece of paper, a large piece of paper that gets folded up and trimmed into like 16 spreads. So one signature is 16 spreads. So two is 32. So it's got to be at least 32 pages long. Again, it's assuming you're doing a book or a um, magazine or zine. Now, if it's a poster, like this is not, so this is where you can see it's a little bit up to interpretation, but assuming you're doing a book or a magazine, it's got to have 32 pages. Putting up the sign to wash hands now, stay with me, and demonstrate an alignment between the form and production of the printed piece, paper size binding with the concept. So just really utilize what your concept is, what you're wanting to express, what are you wanting to communicate, what are you wanting to showcase, and maximize that experience with the format of the publication you choose. That could mean the size or scale of the publication. That could mean the kinds of paper choices you make. That can obviously mean how you apply your design onto that format and the way you bind it and the way you present it all. That full experience of a physical form needs to be aligned with what you're trying to communicate and what you're producing the piece for and for whom you're producing it to. Okay, so all that being said, on our first step is to do a concept development presentation. And like I said in class, it's really important that at this stage that you're thinking collaboratively. You're thinking that, yes, you are, this is your assignment. This is like my project, as you might think in your head, but it's also something you're doing under the guidance of myself and with help and partnership with your fellow students, but mostly from me. Like I want to be part of it. Like I want to be there to be able to suggest something, to kind of approve what you're doing, and for you to feel now that you're not an artist doing your thing, but you're a designer working on behalf of somebody who's guiding you, leading you, and expecting something from you to be delivered as a professional designer would. Okay, so in doing that, it's going to be about really being able to present your idea clearly and present your direction in a compelling way that's going to get somebody like me or somebody in the future to really have confidence in what you're doing and why you're doing it and to believe in it and to also be able to contribute to the idea. So just like we've been doing, create a title slide with your name, the class name, the assignment title, the introduction statement at the beginning just outlines what the assignment is about, a review of the form and content research work. So just summarize maybe the grid picture. You don't have to put all the 25 texts in there, just somehow summarize it on a page of the kind of content you've developed, maybe the categories, or just find a way to make that shorter. Um, and then a summary of your form and content research work. So we just talked about that. Present your proposed publication format. So what size, how many pages, how many sections, what's the format going to be? Create a thumbnail, storyboard, pagination map of your book showing how you plan to utilize the 32 pages or more, it could be more or more, in order to organize, like for you to create the architecture of the book, for you to begin even in the design process, like how will these spreads be utilized to be able to take my content, take my visuals that I plan to create and express that within this publication. Um, and then design a set of preliminary design direction, covers and spreads. And what's not on here that we revealed in classes, I also want you to showcase your inspiration as well, your design inspiration towards the kinds of elements, the way you want to design the piece, showcase examples that you can point to and say, like, I like how this works, and I feel like this look and feel is in line with what I want to do, and the way the typography is used, or the way the photography is treated, the way colors are expressed, the way illustration is made, whatever it is, I want you to show that in examples so that we can get a sense of what you want to do and we can participate in making sure that we're aligned with what you're thinking. And when I say we, I mean me. And that inspiration is a tool for you to be able to know what you're trying to do with your design. And of course, you're gonna design a set of preliminary design directions. So once you've got your inspiration, and once you've got your pagination map, do some covers, do some spreads, just begin the process. This is not the most important part, but I want you to have a start. Okay, so this is another example that I want to share with you from another student. This is literally the assignment that is due that you're going to do, and this is this person's submission on the project they did. And you can see here, there's the title page, there's the assignment brief, there's a review of what their seed collection was about, their proposed publication, their storyboard, their cover iterations, their layouts, and their thank you. What's not here is the inspiration page that would go right after the proposed publication and be right after the storyboard. That should be there as a way to begin to get the design process going so that when these spreads begin to be made, there's something to connect with what they're trying to do and for us to understand what these kind of rough sketches are about. It helps us to see that inspiration. And as you can see in this storyboard, and let's just go through the whole thing in bigger. So here's, oh no, we can't. This is it. Um, you can see here they have like the same element. There's just a chair and there's just a bunch of boxes, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be laid out, but it has to be thought through so you can say, this is what I plan to do. I can see here there's an insert that unfolds inside of it, which is a cool idea, like create an insert that opens up. Whatever your ideas are, this is the chance to put them there. And then I guess I put this in the wrong place, but this is basically showing you what their seed was like. Here's their seed concept, and here's their seed collection. And from there, they created this is their final. Okay, so now this is what you're going to do for the coming class on Tuesday and Thursday. And what you're going to, I want to give you a view of what the final is going to be. So this is now fast forwarding 2 weeks more ahead of so that this is what they ended up submitting as their final presentation. So don't get confused here. I'm showing you an example of how the results are going to be. I'm going to show you this magazine here. This is what they ended up doing with they started with the seed collection of things they found on the streets, on the sidewalks. And after the project was done, not the first presentation, they had a full publication and she did a magazine that she named Stoop and created this really cool uh, publication that you can see looks like it's at least 32 pages and printed out in a beautiful way with binding and paper and texture and all that. So you're right here literally with this idea and with this collection and with this content, and now we can see what the final result is. So this is their final presentation that's going to be due at the end of this month. And it got the project brief, it's got the name of the magazine, it's got the size of it, and the kinds of paper and the binding. It talks about those kind of specs, and then showcasing the results on the screen while also having the printed piece in the classroom for us to see. So I can just give you a sense of like how what's expected of you to be able to take what you've been doing now in kind of this abstract way and then begin to editorialize it, begin to envision it. This person decided to take found items and then create a publication that would target people who were thrifters or people who liked secondhanding or people who liked going to stoop sales or and create a magazine that would celebrate that kind of ritual that we have in the city, but also um, provide a kind of almost like a retail connection for being able to have people who think the same way be in connection with each other. So you can see lots of beautiful spreads, just well designed, typography, color, photography, and and we're looking here, and these are not images. Some of these are images that were in her initial seed layout, I think, right? Like maybe not, but basically she ended up looking for newer imagery online or taking photos that allowed her to make this magazine seem realistic and seem targeted towards a person who would want to learn more about this subject matter. And the typography is well done, and it's thought through in terms of the kind of content, and then prototyped in a way that give us further context, which is fun to see, like the magazine itself being being thrifted or being put on a stoop for someone to take and reuse. Um, and of course, don't always forget, we got to have that thank you page. And then this was the beginning of transitioning to the digital project. So she gave us a teaser about, I can't wait to do the digital project next that you'll see. So here's just a quick video flipping through the actual piece that I have here in my hand. And you can kind of just see it's beautifully done and, feels good and well designed. And, it's 3 short weeks, but you can see here that um, you can get a lot done in 3 weeks, and you guys are gonna rock this, and you're gonna be able to do whatever it is that you're doing. And this magazine is just one example. You do your thing, create something at the level that reflects what you're seeing here. Like a lot of content, well designed, thoughtful, and evolved into a place where we went from not even having an idea, having this idea of using beauty as a foundation for how we look at the project, and then end up taking it to the level where you have this finished result. It's something you can have in your hands, and we can all be proud of it together with you. Okay, so that's it. So again, a reminder, Tuesday, all class concept reviews. The Tuesday people will present, and then the Thursday people will present on Thursday, and we'll talk about the video one on Tuesday, and we'll talk about video two, which I'll be sending the link on Monday. I think they sent it to me. Um, so you can review that. So you can watch that, and we can review that on Thursday. Okay, everybody, that's it for this week's recap briefing video, and I hope you guys are having a good, productive weekend. And remember what I said in class now, I can't be there. I can be here on the screen and I can like, threaten you to like make sure you do a good job. And it's not a threat. Like I want you for the sake of yourself, just like you want. Each of you have incredible work ethic, incredible aesthetics. You all want to do a great job. The A making machine is just humming along. It's sensing it's going to be making lots of A's. But as we trek towards this semester, it's a long semester. It's a grueling journey, and it's a grind. And I want to make sure you guys stay focused, stay inspired. Remember that we're thinking about beauty. The cup is going to be half full for no matter what we have to face. Let's make sure that you're there, you're trying hard, you're making this a priority. You're in a special place. You've got the privilege of being a design student in New York City at Parsons School of Design, and you're young and you're beautiful. And this is a chance for you to really bring together all of your talents, all of your ambitions, all your dreams. Like you are here learning design, we're working together, and you're going to begin to make this first project. It's going to lead to another project, which will lead to an even bigger project. So there should be lots of juicy stuff that you're going to make that's going to show you and reflect back that you have what it takes to do this in a professional, real world, high end, beautiful way. And I want you guys to get that out of the class. So make sure you're putting in the work. Do not be afraid to be suffering. Do not be afraid to be afraid. Like face those things you don't want to do, make it hard, have high standards, and stay communicative. Stay communicative. Like if you're having any doubts, you need feedback, here I am. I'm getting paid to help you guys. You guys have access to me. Use me. I'm really good at typing back, saying, "Here's what I think," or in class. Take me aside at the beginning of class, the end of class, in the middle of class, to get feedback. So let's keep going. Let's charge ahead, and I'll see you guys all on Tuesday. Bye.